Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today we're getting into another review. This is of what you see in front of you, belts, and I actually have a third belt that I'm going to bring on screen in a few that I can't fit on screen at the moment. And these are ratcheting belts, dress belts specifically. If you're not familiar with what those are, they are the type of belts that you can kind of see here. They have like a ratcheting mechanism. See if I can get it to focus. So you don't end up having to do your typical buckle setup. And I'm going to throw a link in the description down below for where you could purchase these on Amazon, affiliated link for these two. And the third one I'm going to introduce in a moment. It's just a different color, slightly different design. But essentially, these type of belts, what I find to be the benefit and positive of them is whether you like them for style reasons. I'm not going to say that that is that's up to a person's own particular style. I actually like them. I don't think there's nothing wrong with them. More of a minimalist look to them. It was one thing I always preach on this channel is about budgeting. So it's not about breaking the bank and having a belt that costs you $100. But at the same time, I feel one issue that always comes into play when we use regular normal belts. Now, this was one of my everyday belts for a long time, made by the company Wolverine. Nothing wrong with it. It feels nice. The leather feels good. Not that I'm big on discerning whether something's high quality or not in terms of leather, as long as it works. But the thing about it is that, and I'm sure many of you have come across this problem over the years. I have. I'm sure we all have over years of just wearing the same belt for it doesn't have to be a long time. Sometimes it's just even like 6 months to even like a year. I don't know how long belts are supposed to last. I don't know how long I've been wearing this one for. It's been a while, but you can see how every single time that you got to put it in and then bend it like this and then bring it back. Essentially what you're doing is you're always bending up on that leather and it starts to cause problems down the line. And obviously, once it gets to that point, your belt looks bad. Now, if you're the type of person who's wearing this in the way of like, maybe some raggedy jeans, I don't mean that in a negative way either, but you know what I mean? Like handyman type of setup. You're just inside your just, everyday rugged look and you're like, cool, I got a beat up belt and it's fine, no big deal. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like I said, especially if someone's got that construction look and they got their work boots on, they got their kind of working belt and it fits. But if somebody is trying to go for that, more clean look every day, you try to dress a little bit nice, you try to put yourself together in a certain way, as we always speak on this channel, putting yourself together in a way that's presentable and the you that you want to present to the world. You 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 don't want your belt looking crinkly like that. I'm not saying it has to be the most sophisticated belt, but at least a normal base standard where it's not going to be looking like it's got scuff marks all in it and bent leather is definitely a benefit. And so one thing that's nice about the ratcheting type of belts is that that would never happen, or at least in theory. Now, this belt right here I had for a while now, I want to say probably over a year, and there's none of that has taken place, which you could see here. So from my experience, there's no drawback as far as having the same issues I have with the normal belt. So once again, it doesn't have to be a super expensive belt. Neither one of these belts cross over the price range of $25. But nonetheless, you can end up keeping the belt a lot longer than your normal belt, just based on the wear and tear, because you're not dealing with that whole bending and creasing and all that, which it does to the leather. So this right here is from the brand name. I know I'm going to pronounce this probably wrong. Chaoren. Chaoren. It's Chaoren. So, like I said, the link's going to be in the description. And did it say it in there? Yeah, it does. There we go. Let me try to get it to focus. Sorry about that, you guys. There it goes. So now, like I said, these type, when you buy them, you'll be able to chop off the end and get it to the size that you need. And then once you do, you're able to kind of customize it to that size, and it will be that way. And obviously, you can always make it shorter if you give it away to someone smaller, but you can't make it larger. So it slides in like that, and then you hear the ratcheting, and that's it. So you don't have all that kind of folding like you do with a normal belt. It looks nice. It looks clean. Like I said, on this channel, I'm not about trying to promote the idea that you have to have something that costs $100 for a basic item, because the whole purpose of this is bettering your life and budgeting. If you can and you go that route, that's fine too. But like I said, the point of this right here is just saying there's another way to maintain something and have it look nice and clean for a long period of time through this ratcheting mechanism for these type of belts, which, like I said, I jumped on this maybe a little over a year ago. And so I just want to spread that out for the channel. Now, you lift this up, the buckle outwards this way, and then it just slides right out without a problem. And that's essentially how that goes. You see, this one has the empty opening. This one has your standard, more typical buckle look to it. Got some fingerprints on it already. You see it's got a little pattern on it. And it works the same way, obviously. Now, this one is by a company called Himi, Himi. And there is no branding on the belt. And truth be told, these are probably all made in the same factory at some wherever place. And they're all just the same thing, just different branded. It's fine. I think they look nice for the price, because at the end of the day, look at that nice reflection, nice clean look. If you keep it looking nice, it's going to look nice. Now, in the past, I've had a traditional dress belt, um, with the standard buckle and whatnot. It was slimmer like these, because the other belt that I just showed you was thicker than those. Let me just bring it up. So this is the thickness of your normal standard belt versus, like, say, a dress belt. It's a little thicker. And this is actually not even considered like a really, some belts even thicker than that. But I would always have a dress belt, standard buckle type, and it didn't have a lot of wear because I'd only wear it when I was wearing dressy clothes. But if you are trying to, one, wear more dressy clothes, especially to fit a new style that you're trying to evolve or adapt to, or two, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning of the video, but I am a little under the weather, so don't mind it if you hear it in my voice. Um, so as I was saying, with the old school dress belt that I would wear normally, if you're not wearing a dress belt all the time, it preserves itself, and that's the benefit of having multiple belts. Especially when you had the traditional ones, having multiple belts preserve them a little bit longer because of that. But even then, I would see on my normal dress belt that there was some wear starting to take place. But like I said, if you plan on wearing more dressier outfits, or just you're changing up your look, you're going to have more dressier outfits. Well, then in that case, the dressy belt will get more worn out. But then in addition to that, there's nothing wrong with making a dressy belt more your casual look anyway, if you're wearing jeans and maybe you have a button shirt. And so instead of having, like, say, a dressy belt and then a more casual belt as your everyday belt, you can have two dressy belts as one's your, just however you want to mix it up. But the point is that um, with this ratcheting system, they're just going to last longer. And now I'm going to bring in another one, and this is also from that first company, Chaoren, or however you say it. Like I said, the link's going to be in the description if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Now, this one obviously is in a light brown color. You can see that the buckle is a little bit, well, not a little bit, it's different in design. This is, I bought this one to be a little more casual. Maybe you wanted to match, a pair of shoes that you have that fit that color, like a light brown pair of dress shoes. Now, this one, being that it doesn't have a buckle, a two-part buckle system where you see this as the top and then the base, where this is what you pull forward to allow it to unratchet. This right here doesn't have that top in a base. It's just the top. So this piece right here is your switch. And so you would just slide that in until you start hearing the ratcheting. And you would lift this up and then it pulls out. Now, I don't know if I put this in, there's no real right way, upside down, this and that, but this right here, if you don't want that to be seen, you would obviously wear the belt like that, even though keep in mind then it's going to be a little harder to reach and you're going to have to get used to it just from muscle memory, hitting the switch, pulling it out. But nonetheless, same principle. And I really am a fan of these style of belts. So if you haven't jumped on this, some people, this is nothing new to them. But if you're one of those people who've been watching my channel, you've been following along since the beginning, and you're in this process of evolving yourself, changing yourself, and you've never tried these type of belts, I definitely recommend them because, like I said, rather than you go to your regular department store where you might spend somewhere between $20 and $40 for a regular belt, they're not going to look any more fancier than these, maybe have a special name brand on them that makes them feel like, okay, they're better in that regards. But at the same time, a standard belt that doesn't have a ratcheting system is going to wear eventually. And it doesn't matter, how good you might want to feel or think that it is. If you're spending somewhere between, I can't speak on $100 conventional belt, but I could say anything that's probably from $30, $40 and under, it's gonna wear eventually, where these won't. And nice, new looking, unworn or undamaged, affordable belt is better looking than a expensive, worn out belt. And I don't think anyone would disagree with that. So as always, you guys, put your comments down below. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.